up, good friends at YouTube and on the internet? Today I want to talk to you guys about something that's very important in our crazy lives of guitar. Of course, all we want to do is get on our guitars and shred, because shredding is awesome, right? Or if you don't like to shred, you know, you want to play your favorite blues lick, whatever. You know, we all just want to jam. We want to play music, we want to rock, and it's awesome. And that's, rocking is awesome. But you know, to become a really great guitarist and musician as a whole, we have to have a good practice schedule within our practice, you know. And I was taught by sorry about that, but I was taught by you know, my uncle and several other of my teachers and instructors about having the importance of a good practice method and how that will take your playing to the next level. So I'm going to talk about the, let's see, 1, 2, 3. It's basically just 3 things in the practice, in a practice session, that allow you to yield good results and make good progress. So really, it's about 4 or 5 things. So the first thing is an 1/8 note scale warm-up at 100 beats per minute. So what I usually do is I take the metronome on my phone and I set it to 100 beats per minute. They have a great app. This one is called Pro Metronome. It's a great little app. You just turn the dial to whatever you need, and now I have 100 beats per minute. And I just take, I usually do it like a C scale. So to be, I almost use the A minor relative minor on that one, but you basically just take like a minute and do straight 1/8 notes. So and you do that for a full minute, and that's a good warm-up. It, you know, and also I think something key to stress in practice is to always play with a metronome. It's annoying and can be tedious, but playing with a metronome has definitely helped me to become a better musician and guitar player, because, you know, it always sounds better when you're playing in the right tempo, right? So that's a great warm-up. And it gets your fingers moving, but it's not too fast, it's not too hard, it's not off-putting. Now comes, you know, some of the more not difficult to do necessarily, but, you know, difficult for us to grasp as being like fun as guitarists, well, at least in my practice schedule, is sight reading. So I'll take, I'm not very far into this book, but what I'll do is I'll take a page out of the book, and that's what I'll do. So let's see, we'll take the 16th note page, for example, and there are usually a standard number of pages that I'm gonna do. Probably like 3 or 4 pages. I'll just go through and do all of them, and then pick one out of somewhere in the book that I think I can manage, which I've picked 16th notes in this case. So what I would do is go through, play all these songs, you know, go by the book, use the metronome, adjust to whatever beat per minute that I can handle. Usually it's about 85, 90, 95. It's generally a pretty good moving tempo. I mean, if you're learning something new, you can turn the metronome off, you know, practice a little bit, get into it. But sight reading is key for musicianship. It's something that we need to know how to do and be able to do effectively and quickly. So after I'm done with that, the sight reading, then I'm going to move on to whatever technical studies that I'm working on at the time. So, for example, right now I'm working on major and minor arpeggios and 3-note arpeggios over 2 strings. So like stuff like and then also major arpeggio. And that's why you practice. So I'll go through all those effectively enough. And so this way, what I've done so far is had a good warm-up, then continue to do the really, really boring stuff, like the sight reading and whatever. And then I've gone to the technique studies that are going to apply to maybe the playing in your band, going to a jam night. All this stuff is going to apply. And then after I'm done with the technique studies, I'm going to go to whatever song that I'm learning or working on. And generally for this, this is where you kind of apply like the music that your band is learning, or you can pick a song and just kind of learn it, or do both. Like, for example, I've been kind of, learning Waves by Guthrie Govan for a really long time. It's a difficult song. It is. And I kind of have it, kind of don't have it. But this is the part of the practice in which you're just going to want to try to play through and, learn the new parts. So doing it this way, it's like we can take those technique studies and we can apply them to what we have right now, Those 3-note arpeggios I've noticed do really come in handy. Especially for soloing, I really like the diminished. But yeah, you take those techniques and you can apply them into the songs that you're learning with your band or just learning on your own. And then finally, as we are all gonna love to do, is jam. You just take something and you can just jam on it. One of my favorite things to jam on is the chords with Danny California. Because, just take a really simple jam or find a jam on YouTube, these things are going to work, they're going to work great, and then you can take everything that you've been kind of learning and applying it into the jam, and applying it into, your regular playing. If you show up to a jam night, you can use all this stuff, and this way you can progress yourself as a guitarist into a really, really great place, because now it's like, okay, not only can I play Summer of '69, but you can take that solo. If you're playing that lead, you can take that lead and you can go somewhere with it, and you can use your technique studies to do that. This practice is going to be able to, take your playing to the next level, as it's doing with mine all of the time. It seems kind of stupid, and it's hard sometimes to make yourself do this, because reading music, we all know deep down, we're not classical guitarists. This isn't what we want to do. We want to play rock and roll. That's it. And it's hard to just sit there and dedicate yourself to maybe 15 minutes of this sight reading. But it pays off. It pays off. Because if you show up to a studio session, You know, if you want to be a session guitarist, sight reading is important. If you want to go into a music school, music college, you know, stuff like this can be very vital to your furtherment. And you know, we think of our rock idols as not really caring about this stuff sometimes, but they do. They have their practice methods. And this is the one that I found that works for me. Hopefully it works out for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you could like and subscribe, share it around, that'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate that. You know, give me feedback too. Let me know if I suck. Hopefully I don't. I just really want to be able to help and make sure that, you know, you guys get the most out of your practice. This is what works for me, you know, and the jam, you can go on for hours. Honestly, we all know we love to do that. So, you know, keep rocking, like and subscribe, let me know how I'm doing, and we'll see you guys in the next video.